listeners in a 24-hour period by FeedBurner, 3,000 listeners per episode, about 1,200 visitors to the site a day on a give and take, and on the topic that is boring. It really is.
Chris, slightly louder.
Slightly louder? All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the 5 steps that you need to take to get your website and your podcast up to speed, using a lot of the stuff we just talked about in the previous session. Then we're going to workshop a couple of different websites. Is Rambling Russ here?
Yes, I'm here.
Excellent, awesome. We're going to talk about your site soon. So stage 1, content optimization. You want to take a look at your website. You want to check your content. See what is on your site. What are you providing to people, and in what format is it? Is it search friendly? Is there a lot of text? Is the text semantically correct? For example, are you using header tags? Are you using semantic page tags like H1, H2, H3? By the way, 2 warnings. Like I told the crowd last time, I drink a lot of coffee, so if I'm talking too fast, run and grab some coffee real quick. You'll be fine. The second one is... this is going to be a lot more technical, so if you're not 100% comfortable with editing HTML and stuff like that, better buckle your seatbelt and unplug the popcorn machine. Number 3 is the calls to action. What are the calls to action on your site, and how obvious are they? Obviousness. Do not underestimate the people's abilities to miss things on your website. I mean, make things really, really obvious. Here's an extra thing on that. When it comes to things like calls to action, I don't know how many of you saw the previews of Apple's new iPhone. Its screen is 480 by 320, and it will scale down your website. Instead of giving you a mobile version, it will actually give you, because it's got Safari on it, a full version of your web page at 480 by 320. So if your calls to action aren't big, ugly, and obvious, they will be missed and scaled down. No one will ever see them on the iPhone. So you want to make sure that you're prepared for that in case it actually does become successful. Stage 2 is search engine optimization, knowing what the basics are, knowing how to get inbound links, how to get your website up and running. Like I talked about in the last session, Web CEO. Make sure you run it not only against your home page, but pick 1 or 2 blog posts on your page, on your website, and make sure they're up to scratch. If you have an about page, make sure your name is prominently placed, things like that. Internal linking is very, very, very important, for not necessarily for search optimization so much as for people to find their way back to the home page, which is where they want to be. Again, we'll show that heat map real quickly. Stage 3 is popularity. What services can you use online to promote your show? What browser extensions can you use to double check that? We talked about StumbleUpon briefly. We'll also touch on a couple of things. And who can do it every day? Because a lot of search engine optimization, a lot of link building and popularity promoting requires you to do it on a daily basis. You set aside 15 minutes in the morning or in the evening, and you do it. If you don't, you can't do this in bursts. You must be consistent. Number 4 is funnels. There are a lot of Web 2.0 services. Actually, you know what I should do? Let me show you. We're going to mash up some stuff. I want you to take a look. This is the problem with Web 2.0. What do you pick? Who's important? Who's not important? How do you solve it? Right? So we're going to talk about some of the services, the solutions, the way you can get around with it, called Web 2.0 Service Pack 1. So, switch back to the other presentation. It's real organized. iClip, we'll talk about that briefly because that's probably one of the most important things you'll ever use if you have a Macintosh. If you have a PC, I don't know what the equivalent is, but there must be something out there. And last, of course, is alliances, WUFI, comments, things like that, cross-promotion. This is the stuff you do last once everything else is working great. We want to go from the order of most automated to least automated, and this is the least automated portion. So let's pick a victim. We're going to start, actually we'll use Julian's site to start with here. Okay, so get to know your source browser very, very well. You're going to be using it a heck of a lot. Here we have a carrot that's going to break. Oh shit, you're right. Thanks. This is the title tag. You have HTML, which tells browsers and engines what kind of document this is. It can be XML as well. It can also be HTML. Your header tag, your title tag in your HTML must be the first thing inside the bracket. You have other stuff like doc type formats and stuff like that, like style sheets above your title tag, not as good. So make sure that it's just there for easy placement. If you have JavaScripts, make sure they're referenced off-site, off-page. Don't have 800 pages of JavaScript and things like that. That's interesting. Why do you have all your...
Hey, that's WordPress now.
My WordPress doesn't do that.
I don't know, mine does.
Okay, that's odd. WordPress 2.7, I should upgrade too. So let's get to the actual page contents. Scroll down here. There we go. Okay. If you're not using WordPress, I definitely recommend WordPress as the software to run your show's website on, because it already takes care of a lot of the optimization for you, like header tags. This here, this H1, this H2, these are semantic markup tags. They are leftovers from, HTML is descended from SGML, which is a different language entirely, but it tells a browser how to render the size of text, roughly how to format things. These things are also given weight in search engines, not a whole lot of weight anymore because they're easily gained, but it tells the browser what format the page looks like. Your header tags are things that are more important, like the date of the post, the topic of the post, and stuff like that. And then you have regular text down here. WordPress does this for you automatically. Whatever your post title is, it's going to make a header tag for you. You don't have to do any work, you don't have to do any coding. It will save you an awful lot of time. Okay, so that is your basics of content there. Let's talk about building links inbound. There are a number of ways to do this. Number one is obviously make a lot of friends with people and ask them to link to you. Make sure that you're talking to people. When you are at a convention like this, a conference, take the gigantic pile of business cards, and as soon as you get home, not only send a thank you email, but if there are people who stuck out in your mind, put a post up on your blog about them, link directly to them so that they get link credit. With WordPress, there's kind of a neat thing in the control panel. Actually, I should see if I can pull mine up here. There we go. With WordPress, it tells you not only who's leaving comments on your website, where is the technical audio link? There, incoming links. People who are discussing my show by linking to my URL in their blog posts. So Mitch posted something here. We have Binary Starcast, blog Chris Brogan. Whenever you link to somebody in your blog post, if they're using WordPress, it'll display it for them when they go to check in and on their blog. It's a great way for you to see who's talking about you. If you have a blog that isn't, one of the A-list blogs, by linking to A-list bloggers, this is how you get on their radar screen without having to pester them with spam. Just link to them, make sure you're talking about them. Another good way to build inbound links that is disturbingly effective is MySpace. There's a surprise. So let's say in the previous session, you took the opportunity to build lots and lots and lots of friends. You've got more friends than you know what to do with. What do? You use a tool like the friend commenter. And what you do is you write up some HTML here. Say, hey, thanks, show some post Valentine's Day love. I like your page, or whatever it is you want to say. And it's going to go through and add HTML or non-HTML, depending on what their preferences or settings are, to their post. MySpace.com is a big site. Google likes it a lot because it's not only a big site, but it gets a lot of people on it. When you write links here with your good link text, all these count towards inbound links, every single one of them. If you have a network of things you're trying to promote, like student loans, you just put out a little toolbar inside your comment post. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be glaringly obvious, but it does have to have lots and lots of inbound links with the text that you want. Just do this and keep sending comments. I'll just keep going for a while. And you can add up to 250 comments a day. So that's, in this one, there's 6 links, I think. So adding, what is that, 1,500? Yeah, 1,500 new inbound links to my websites every day, which is a great time saver because it means I don't have to do it myself. So let the bot do it for me. So, and finally, of course, internal linking. One of the most important links on your website, unsurprisingly, is your homepage, right? And people like to go, I can't tell you the number of blogs I see where this says just home. This is the, if you think about like heat maps and the golden triangle, where people click the most, top left corner is where they look the most, top left corner is where they click the most. Make sure your keywords are in that link because it's a valuable link. With your calls to action, I have these lovely icons here. Make them obvious. So obvious. We're on content now. By the way, all these I just released them under Creative Commons, so you're welcome to take the icon pack and put them on your website, your blog, your podcast. They're completely free. Just make sure you obey the license terms and put a link to my site. Okay, so that is that. Services. Okay, now we're getting into the interesting stuff. Again, how many people use Firefox? Okay, good. Make sure you have Julian's recommendation for the SEO the SEO toolbar for Firefox. Make sure you've got StumbleUpon and Delicious. With StumbleUpon, you've got some lovely tags here. Chris? Sir?
What version of Firefox are you running? Because my version doesn't look like that.
I think it's version 2 for the Mac.
Okay.
It's a theme.
It's a theme? Okay.
So when I tag Julian's show with those 5 tags there, I think those are pretty good tags. They're not necessarily 100% descriptive of the show, but a lot more people look for hip-hop when they do social commentary.
Yeah.
Tag that there. Let's go to, Russ, what's your website? Okay, let's see what's out there. Let's say I like Russ. He's my new friend. What's your show about?
Oh, all kinds of things, man.
Come on!
Book reviews, TV reviews, movies, anything under the sun. I am Mr. Variety. I am the Seinfeld of podcasts. That don't have a Kramer.
Thank you.
We gotta specify a topic of movies.
Well,
He moves really fast.
Okay, so we've got a good description here on StumbleUpon. What's going to happen is, in my case, I'm going to submit this, and this is going to go to all of my friends on StumbleUpon. All these people, I don't even know who the hell they are. But they all get a chance to see this, and if they like it, they'll give it a little thumbs up too. The more people that do that, the more likely it is to show up when you hit stumble in that particular category. So if we go to, let's see, I think I'm on the wrong wireless. If you specify when you're stumbling around, you want to look for movies. If I like it and all my friends like it, Russ's page is going to be a lot more likely to show up when they hit that random stumble button. And if they're just looking around for something to look at or listen to, it's a great way to find stuff. So making sure you're using StumbleUpon, the extensions, the delicious tags, and make sure you're doing it every day. Every single time you make a blog post, make sure you stumble your blog, but the individual post on it. So it's not enough. Right, it's not enough just to hit your home page. You want to go to and hit up every single page on your website. And when you're posting every single day, you get WordPress to do a nice distinct URL. So you can hit it up lots and lots of times. Sir?
Just as a fast tip, you can actually export your Delicious links, like if there's more people using Delicious, and then import them all into StumbleUpon at once, and it stumbles all of them, so that saves you a ton of time.
Oh, I just wanted to say, if the best thing you can do for people, if you like their podcast, is to click on I like it for StumbleUpon. I just received 14,000 visits from people I didn't know from like last week. So please, do us all a favor, and if you like a podcast, it doesn't matter which one, get the StumbleUpon toolbar and click.
Yeah.
Delicious is a fantastic repository. It is actually one of the things I have in one of these other slides. Yes, which services? There are certain services out there that I call filter services. There are certain services which I call foundation services. Delicious is a foundation service, which means that you want to get as much of your stuff in there as possible because it's already very popular and you can actually extract the data from it into other services. Greatpoint.com is trying to do, for example, what Delicious does, except add Netflix-style ratings to it. In order to get your links in there, you just export your Delicious. Yahoo MyWebs allows you to import your Delicious database, so you dump your Delicious database into there as well. StumbleUpon allows you to import. So Delicious is a foundation service. LinkedIn is another foundation service. How many people have the ability to subscribe to your show by email? One guy. Okay. Here's another service then. Let's tackle this one first. the eponymous flame, FeedBurner, is one of the best things you can do for your podcast. What it'll do, in addition to doing all sorts of nice cleanup and things like that, FeedBurner will let you set up all kinds of publicizing to let people know what to do with your show. The thing that I like is what's called email subscriptions. Also, there's Ping Shop with Ping services, which is kind of nice, but I use FeedBlitz. There are other things. This lets people subscribe to your show via email. And what happens is they get an email. Let's see, where is it? There it is. There's a nice little form here, right? They just put their email address in to subscribe. Every single time you put up a blog post, they get an email saying, hey, here's a new blog post. They put the contents of it and a link to any media, like your MP3s and stuff. It's a great way to publicize, your show. And for people who are not 100% comfortable with RSS feeds, this is a perfect way to get in touch with them. Now, here's the evil part. You can go into FeedBurner, grab all the email addresses of people who subscribe to your show, and then export that into your contacts on Gmail. If you want to have a mailing list, you can dump it to LinkedIn. That way you can connect to people and get in touch with them. You can dump those email addresses into any service, Twitter, whatever takes an email address as a primary identifier. So it's a great way to get started with building your own personal database of people who want to talk to you and you want to talk to them. Another good way is your own email. If you have Gmail, if you have Thunderbird and stuff, you can extract all the email addresses of anyone you've ever talked to and dump it into a service like LinkedIn. This will tell you who's on LinkedIn, and you can send an invite to them if you want, if you know that you're not subscribed to random mailing lists. What you do from there is you take your LinkedIn list, anybody who is a connection, who's a friend, you know that they're interested enough in you to approve the friend request. You know they're interested enough in you to be willing to receive job ads and stuff like that. So you can then take that list and import it into other services. So LinkedIn is a filtering service. It's very, very important to participate in and know how to bond all these different Web 2.0 services together. MySpace. If you've ever, actually, where did I put that? Pass this around, please. I don't have one, so I'll have to go around the room. MySpace, in addition to being a great source of audience, is also a great source of information about who likes you. So I have all these friends here. Yeah, it's nice to see that I have friends and things. But inside of MySpace, you can get information. So here's the host of Scriggity, a very, very good video podcast, right? We know she's 20 years old. She lives in Lake City, Florida. So and it actually has it down by zip code inside the MySpace database as to where they are located. The age down here. We have relationships. We know what their sexual orientation is, body type, ethnicity, race, religion, smoking, drinking, education, what school they went to. Now, it's nice to have all this. There's a tool called Spider for the Macintosh, which will connect to your MySpace page, pull down not only your friends, but all the demographic information about them ever, and put it into a nice database, which you can put to Excel or whatever, and then turn it into your media kit. So if you're questioning, what the demographics of your show are, make sure you have a MySpace page, cross-promote back and forth, and then take your demographics from your MySpace page and put it into a press kit. It looks great. It's floating around here somewhere. Somebody got it? It looks great, and it's good for if you want to pitch your podcast to people who are used to seeing executive summaries and things like that. So that is that section.
That Spider with a Y or
With a Y, thank you. I forgot about that. The last section is on alliances, welfare, and comments. Now, there's a couple of things. Not only can you use, like a demo in the last session, not only can you use FeedBurner, Technorati and Google Blog Search to find people to add as friends, but you can also find who's talking about you on non-MySpace pages and leave comments, leave relevant comments for them. You can leave your name, your email address, your URL as part of the standard part of the WordPress form when you leave a comment. Now, those links in themselves don't pass PageRank because of the way WordPress is configured, but they do provide relevance. So if you're leaving comments on relevant blogs about you, people will naturally find their way to your show anyway. Woofy is kind of a, how would you explain Woofy?
Woofy. Woofy is the concept that it's a kind of social currency online. The more people link to you, the the more renowned you become, and the more you become renowned even beyond your own social circles. And you can use Whoopi as influence online. So for example, if you have a bunch of incoming links, hey, that means that when you send a link out, it has a lot of power. That's using Whoopi, and so on.
So how do you make use of that? Remember this page here, the control panel. That's not the page I wanted. Remember this page where we have all these incoming links. We know who's linking to me. We know who's talking about me. I like those people, so I'll leave them comments and things like that. You know, it's nice of them to do that. What I'll also do is I'll also then go and individually, one by one, tag and stumble upon every single one of those pages. The more prominent I can make them in Google, the more traffic I'll get to my own site, because every time you make your friends popular, the value of their links to you increase. If you use a statistics software like AW Stats, there we go. I have a lot of websites. AW Stats, by the way, is a great package, and chances are if you have free web hosting with somebody, you already have it. You just may not know about it, so ask your hosting provider. You can see the most popular pages. That's nice. It's a good ego stroke. Here's the more important part. Who's linking to you in your statistics? This tells you what URLs, where they're coming from, how much traffic you're getting from them. Unless it's a stumble upon page already, stumble and tag and delicious every single one of these URLs here. Make sure that people who are linking to you get lots and lots of credit, because they're obviously driving traffic to you already. The more you promote them, the more traffic you get in return. And of course, it doesn't hurt to do promos and stuff for other people and stuff, but that's how you build your popularity. As soon as somebody latches onto you, you show them as much love as possible, it comes back to you. That's it for the stuff. Any questions? Is everyone brain hurt? Sir?
You know, just theoretically, can somebody automate some of that stumble upon action?
Theoretically, yes. Yes. Other questions? Sir?
I'm new to the Mac world a bit and this whole thing, but let's say that I had a movie that I'm a filmmaker, so let's say I had a movie that I wanted to push a little harder, and let's say I'm known in the industry. If you Google my name, you'll get thousands of hits.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make that work for me somehow?
Yes. Is your name, when you Google your name, is your webpage the one that comes up first?
I'm not sure. I doubt it.
Let's find out.
I really kind of doubt that.
What's your name?
It's, my name is Kalman, K-A-L.
You can come up here and
It's easy. It's Kalman, K-A-L-M-A-N. And my last name is S-Z-E-G.
It's what?
S-Z-E-G.
Z?
Crazy American.
A-R-Y.
Yeah?
A-R-Y.
R-Y.
R-Y, yeah. I just, you know, because I do have some movies. I don't know how many.
Do you own Kalman's Cigar.com?
That's IMDb.
Yeah. Do you own your domain, a domain name with that exact words?
Well, I do have something called sci-fi.com. S-A-I F-I.com, but it's linked to one.
You need to go buy that right now.
Really?
Use promo code OYH3 to get it for $6.95. Here's why. Here's why.
You should do that?
Absolutely, yes. Here's why. Unlike other things in Google, like text links and stuff like that, all that can be manipulated for very low cost. Or no cost, right? Buying a domain name, even at a cheap place, is still a monetary investment. In order for you to buy thousands of domain names, unless you're using flipping software, requires a financial investment. So Google gives a lot of weight to what you buy as your domain name. So whatever it is you name your show, whatever it is you name yourself, make sure you've got a domain name. And then you can point that to your blog, you can point that to whatever. But I guarantee you, especially that particular spelling, you should own that domain name. Clearly nobody else does. And point it towards something that is yours.
Okay.
pointed towards something that's yours. Just get it set up. You can use WordPress. You can just put up I would bet you with that spelling, you could just slap a page that says, "Hello world, my name is," and on the page, and that would be it, and that would be enough to get you to #1 in Google for that term. If the term is important enough that people are going to be looking for it, okay? Then, again, because that's easy to spell, you want to use those exact words in all the social services. You want to put a flag in the ground. So set up myspace.com/CommonsVagard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. You want to set up Facebook.com/CommonsVagard. You want to set up Flickr/photos/whatever. You want to go to YouTube channel/ set up every account name so that is your username on all the services. Then go on every single one of those pages, all those services, and things like your profile, and point them back to your home page. Right? So we go to a lot of people heard of this website called Podshow Plus, which is run by Podshow. Regardless of what you think about Podshow, they have a pretty broad network with a lot of money. Well, a lot of pages on it. A lot of pages that are publicly indexable. I guess Podshow's not going to be making an appearance today, right?
Well, IMDb actually links back to me, my site.
Okay. If you have an existing website, buy that domain name and point it to your existing site. But absolutely positively, seize on that name. Okay, that's not happening.
I'm not sure how much traffic, I'm not sure how many people actually look for me. That's an interesting thing.
You should find out. You should find out.
A lot of people take time. Some people like it.
This is my Flickr page. As much as possible, I try and get people back to my site as often as possible. On my Podshow Plus page, exactly the same thing. On my MySpace page, try and get them back to my website as quickly as possible because I want all those links to go back to me. Flickr, by the way, is kind of interesting. They don't have, there's a thing in HTML called nofollow, which tells a search engine, which tells a search engine, don't count this in your votes of popularity for a web page. WordPress uses that for the comments, so that you can't have spam comments, pimping. Flickr doesn't have that for anything. So when you add comments on someone's photos in Flickr, put a hyperlink back to your name or your show or whatever, and you'll be incrementally boosting the amount of page rank that you have.
Cool.
Yes, sir.
How many hours a day do you spend?
Believe it or not much. Probably about, my show takes me about 45 minutes from beginning to end in the morning. It's a daily show. And then I spend probably another hour a day just doing all the different social network sites. It takes a lot of time up front to get all the profiles and things set up, but once you've got them all set up, it's just maintaining them. Let's see that Podshow page coming back.
Consistent work is more important than a lot of work all at once. Consistent every
Little bits every day. Yeah, so here, this is my Podshow Plus page, right? Because what they did is they imported a directory called Podcast Alley. They bought it, imported it, and made everybody show part of the network, whether they wanted to be in it or not. Which is cool. That's fine with me because, hey, where's the Financial Podcast? It's not here. It's over at my site. All this gets nicely indexed and sent back to my page. So take advantage of it. I know people get upset about things like this, but take advantage of it. Turn it to your advantage. It's kind of the dark side of the force. Make sure that you're using the networks to their fullest amount. Look at the number of people I dig on Podshow Plus. I just vote for them and say, yeah, I have 1.3 million people I like everybody. Other questions?
You talked about iClick?
Oh, thank you. I forgot completely about that. If you want a time saver, and you've got to do all this stuff over and over and over again, and it really, really just is sucking up all your CPU cycles, there's a piece of software on the Macintosh called iClip. And hold up here. What it is multiple levels of multiple clipboards that store text snippets. So we can get it here. So, for example, I have signatures and stuff that just text snippets. So whenever I play somebody on the Podsafe Music Network, I have text. I just copy. I just store it in here and hit a hotkey on my keyboard and it pastes it into an email. So it's saving me a tremendous amount of time. Right? Here's all my delicious tags, or my stumble upon tags. I don't really want to retype these every day. It's a pain in the butt. So just store it in here. You can also drag and drop it right into the text fields in stumble upon. Here's my campaign I'm working on. These are the delicious tags and stuff like that. Email signatures, things like that. If we move on to the next one, I have code in here. I use Yahoo Answers a lot because I work in an information kind of thing, and Yahoo Answers is nice for letting people know stuff. I don't really want to type the financial aid process over and over again, so I just have the entire document in here as text. I just copy and paste it right into Yahoo Answers. Everybody gets the answer they like. It's a helpful, it's a useful answer, but I don't have to make my fingers bleed every other day. Yahoo Answers, by the way, used to no follows, pain in the butt. Here's my LinkedIn text, right? So whenever I send somebody an invite on LinkedIn, rather than using the default invitation, which most people ignore, I have an entire gigantic thing with reminders. If you were paying attention to your LinkedIn Friday morning, I wrote a custom one for PodCamp Toronto, then imported all the email addresses from the PodCamp Toronto wiki into my LinkedIn. And hopefully those people who are on the service got an invite from me. So iFlip is very, very useful.
PC alternative? Anybody?
I don't know. I don't use PC, so.
Google Notebook.
Google Notebook? Awesome. Other questions?
Back to getting your name as a domain.
Mm-hmm.
What if someone else has the exact same name as you, already got the .com? Is it the same thing if it's .ca or .us or .whatever?
As long as it is, you can use subdomains or like .ca or .whatever. That's fine as long as the words are exactly as they should be. So .cc. .com is probably what most people will type when they go for that search term. So make sure that you spend a lot of time building inbound links with your name or that name as the link text. And stuff. That way you will promote yourself above the other. Right? There used to be an actor in Hollywood until he died named Chris Penn, and I'm actually coming up on him. I'm number 5 now on Google for Chris Penn and stuff. Then I get emails like, "Are you dead?" No. Sir.
That raises an interesting point. If you have a name that consists of fairly common terms, and you're competing against other people who have slightly various combinations of those common terms, how do you boost your page by comparison?
Lots of things. Lots.
Okay.
It's funny. Somebody actually got me an interesting confidential document from a search engine optimization firm doing work for one of our competitors. And in this document, they said, here's all your other competitors. And by the way, this is one show that seems to have an awful lot of comments on MySpace pages. We regard this as a severe threat to you, and you need to be doing this right now. They're probably going to, because of the speed which this one particular competitor moves, it'll probably take them about 36 months to actually get going with that. So hopefully by then I'll have something else up my sleeve that they don't have. But using stuff like that and staying on top is really important. But the last thing I was going to mention, go out and subscribe to lots of search engine blogs, search engine optimization blogs and stuff, and new media blogs. Mashable is a great one. Google Blogoscoped. I'll put links in the show notes for all this because that's how you stay current. The advice I'm giving you today will probably be completely useless by the time PodCamp New York comes around, but we'll have new stuff then.
There's a podcast called The Daily Search Cast.
Yes, Danny Sullivan. Love that show. It's good. That's a good
podcast.
show.
It's like half hour every day.
Danny's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I think that's going to do it. So thank you.
Thank you.